Good morning. This is chapter 11, the book of John. I'm reading from the New King James Version. Now a certain man was sick, Lazarus of Bethany, the town of Mary and her sister Martha. It was that Mary who anointed the Lord with fragrant oil and wiped his feet with her hair, whose brother Lazarus was sick. The sisters sent for him, saying, Lord, behold, he whom you love is sick. When Yeshua heard that, he said, This sickness is not unto death, but for the glory of God, that the Son of Man, the Son of God, may be glorified through it. So Yeshua knew that there was purpose in Lazarus falling sick. Now Yeshua loved Martha and her sister and Lazarus. So when he heard that he was sick, he stayed 2 days more in the place where he was. So when he heard he was sick, he stayed 2 days more. He didn't leave. He stayed 2 days more. He delayed going. Why do you think? What does the world do? The minute we hear someone sick, we pack up and we head in their direction. Yeshua did the opposite. After this, he said to his disciples, Let us go to Judea again. The disciples said to him, Rabbi, lately the Jews sought to stone you, and you're going there again? And Yeshua answered, Are there not 12 hours in a day? If anyone walks in the day, he does not stumble, because he sees the light of this world. But if one walks in the night, he stumbles, because the light is not in him. These things he said, and after that he said to them, Our friend Lazarus sleeps, but I go that I might wake him. And his disciples said, Lord, if he sleeps, he'll get well. Yeshua, however, spoke of Lazarus' death. But they thought he was speaking about taking rest in sleep. Then Yeshua said to them plainly, Lazarus is dead, and I am glad for your sakes that I was not there, that you may believe. Nevertheless, let us go to him. Then Thomas, who is called the twin, said to the fellow disciples, Let us also go, that we may die with him. This is the same Thomas who was called Thomas the Doubter, but he is the same Thomas who brought the gospel to India. And we have the St. Thomas Cathedral in Mumbai, which is the church of Cathedral and John Connon School. Yeah, same Thomas, same Thomas. So when Yeshua came, he found that he had already been in the tomb 4 days. Lazarus had been dead and buried 4 days. Now Bethany was near Jerusalem. It was 2 miles away. That means close enough for Yeshua to actually get into trouble. And many of the Jews had joined the women around Martha and Mary to comfort them concerning their brother. Now Martha, as soon as she heard that Yeshua was coming, she went out and met him. But Mary was sitting in the house. Martha ran in Yeshua's direction to meet him. To me, that looks like hope and faith. Mary stayed in the house. To me, that looks like hurt and offense. She was offended and hurt that Yeshua didn't come when she called. But Martha was able to overcome that and to go out in faith and hope, knowing he can do something. Martha said to Yeshua, Lord, If you had been here, my brother would not have died. But even now I know that whatever you ask of God, he will give you. And Yeshua said to her, your brother will rise again. Martha said to him, I know that he will rise in the resurrection at the last day. And Yeshua said to her, I am the resurrection and the life. I am the resurrection. That means to be raised from the dead is to be alive in Christ. To be raised from the dead while you live is to be saved by Christ, to be alive again. And he says, he who believes in me, though he may die, he shall live. And whoever lives and believes in me shall never die. Do you believe this? And she said to him, yes, Lord, I believe that you are the Christ, the Son of God, who has come into the world. And when she said these things, she went her way and secretly called Mary, her sister, saying, the teacher has come. He's calling for you. And as soon as she heard that, Mary rose quickly and came to him. So Mary was still receptive. Now Yeshua had not yet come into the town, but was in the place where Martha had met him. Then the Jews who were with her in the house and comforting her, when they saw Mary rose up quickly and went out, they followed her, saying, oh, she's going to the tomb to weep. And then when Mary came to Yeshua and saw him, she fell down at his feet, saying, Lord, if you had been here, my brother would not have died. When Yeshua saw her weeping, and the Jews who came with her weeping, he groaned in his spirit and was troubled. And he said, where have you laid him? And they said to him, Lord, come, see. And now come the two words that make the shortest sentence in the whole Bible. I don't know if it's the shortest sentence in all literature, but it's certainly the shortest sentence in the Bible. Jesus wept. Yeshua wept. That's it. And then the Jews said, see how he loved him. And some of them said, could not this man who opened the eyes of the blind also have kept this man from dying? Yeshua, again groaning in himself, came to the tomb. It was a cave, and a stone was laid against it. And Yeshua said, take away the stone. And Martha, the sister of whom he was dead, of him who was dead, said to him, Lord, by this time there is a stench. He has been dead 4 days. Now look, she first asked Yeshua, I know that whatever you ask God, he will do for you. And now her logical mind kicks in and says, body's been lying there for 4 days. It started decaying. He's going to be stinking. So the faith mind and the logic mind oppose each other. And Yeshua said to her, did I not say to you that if you would believe, you would see the glory of God? Then they took away the stone from the place where the dead man was lying. Yeshua lifted up his eyes and said, Father, I thank you that you have heard me, and I know that you are always with me. But because of the people who are standing here, I say this, that they may believe that you sent me. What did he mean by that? I know that you are always with me. That means you are in me and I am in you. I wouldn't need to say this prayer. I could have just called Lazarus forth. I could have just woken Lazarus up. But I am engaging in you openly. I'm engaging with you openly so that all these who are watching will believe that you and I are one, that you sent me, that I am doing your work on the earth, and I am not some soothsayer or some magician or someone sent by Satan. They will know that you have sent me. When he had said these things, he cried out with a loud voice, Lazarus, come forth! And he who had died came out, bound hand and foot with grave clothes, with his face wrapped with a cloth. He was mummified. Imagine a mummy, or like in the Muslims, they wrap a person with, I think, 7 yards of white cloth. It's like mummification because they bury them without a coffin. They just put the body wrapped in this cloth in the ground. I saw my grandmother. I was there when my grandmother was buried, and they do it immediately. My grandmother died, and while her body was being prepared, the people were outside digging the grave, and they lowered her body wrapped in that cloth into the grave at 4 in the morning. And I was there. I was 18 years old. And Lazarus came out wrapped in burial clothes. And Yeshua said to them, loose him and let him go. When we come to Yeshua, when we come to Christ, to the Messiah, to regenerate life, to new life, to conversion, as people say, oh, she's trying to convert, he's trying to convert. No one can convert another human being. Conversion is of the soul, and it is done by God through Christ. Conversion is not a man-done thing. Please do not fool yourselves ever that any human being can convert another. Conversion is the taking of a stony heart and transforming it into a heart of love and of flesh, a heart after God. That is conversion. When we come to Yeshua, when we come to new life in Yeshua, when we return to God and a relationship with Him, we are still actually bound by a lot of grave cloths. What are these grave cloths? They are evil spirits that have bound us, curses that have bound us, our own words that have bound us, societal chains that have bound us, attitudes of the heart that have bound us, evil spirits that have bound us, ways of thinking that have bound us. There's a lot that binds us and holds us down with chains like fears and phobias and wrong beliefs and mindsets, all sorts of things. Those are our grave cloths. And Yeshua said to the others, loose him. Sometimes we can't see what is binding us. I may have a victim spirit binding me, but I cannot discern the victim spirit. I cannot loose myself from that spirit. I need someone to help me. I need someone to point it out and say, I discern that you have a victim spirit. And when someone points something out, a grave cloth out that is wrapped around one part of you, it is our responsibility to say, really? Well, let's get it out. And not be offended by it. If we are offended by it, that's a sure sign that we do have that grave cloth around